Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Confidently Wrong. Savon, you going to the farmer's market today?
We'll see. We'll see. It might be a quiet day today.
You know, you haven't busted out a onesie or a robe on us in a minute here.
It is July.
Did you get rid of the?
It is July, Wes.
The
He's
fancy
just
wear.
pantless.
It is July.
Not even the one where like you got the flap to go pee. You don't.
It is July.
Maybe
To
your
do poop.
undershirt is a onesie.
Oh, maybe. What do they call it? Wait, that has a name to it. The women that wear
It is
those
a July.
Yeah,
they're
it
like
goes,
swimming
it
suits
goes
almost, but
down to his thighs.
oh, it's like the old school swimming suits.
Yeah.
The ones they wore at the beach in like the 20s.
It needs more stripes, though.
His is just solid black.
Why do they
You'll be
always
able to
have
see
stripes?
it on YouTube, friends. Brian, are you going to the farmer's
What the
market
hell
today?
is wrong with y'all?
I don't know.
I might actually.
We're
Go to
tired.
the farmer's market.
Yeah, Brooklyn has a
Uh,
good farmer's market. Or are you in Jersey right now?
Everywhere in Brooklyn is a farmer's market, basically. But what
there
I
are no
really want to do,
farms. I don't get it.
but the people who, patronize farms,
They live there.
they live in Brooklyn.
Okay.
What I really want to do is go to the beach.
Okay.
But unfortunately, so Anna and I were like, yeah, we want to bring our dog to the beach. We want to introduce our puppy to sand and
Una,
water.
shout out.
And then we're like trying to plan it out. And then we realized apparently, like basically every beach on the eastern seaboard does not allow dogs
Oh, none.
during the months from May to October.
Oh, they don't want
basically
the doggy
anytime
poo.
people are there, they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, no dogs.
Oh.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
dogs.
But they
people
lift
can't handle
that
it.
restriction in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dog's
probably.
totally fine when nobody's here. So I guess we're going to the beach for Thanksgiving. We'll see.
I went to Atlantic City once for Thanksgiving. It was awful. Don't go.
Were we together for that? That might have been possible.
No, I
Did
don't
we-
think so. I think I went with
remember
Forster.
We
did
went
go to Atlantic senior
Atlantic
year, right?
City when it was kind of cold. I think it was
Okay.
kind of cold.
We went for like
it
a
was my
senior
senior
trip.
year. It was my
Yeah.
senior year.
All right. I think that was the one where I squeezed into Christina Lee's jeans.
Yes.
And she's like
a 4'10"
30 pounds. She's like
Korean
30
girl.
pounds less than me.
And you did it, Wes. You did it.
I got in them. I think I even bought
I
them.
have the photographic evidence. It's out there. Wes and girl jeans.
That was me a good 30 pounds ago, though, or so. So I need to lose some of that weight, actually.
Don't sell yourself short. I think you could do it again. I think Kaya's jeans are ready for her dad. And that's
Oh my
weird
God.
that I just said that out loud and out of context.
I
Doesn't
can't even
sound
get my
great.
arm in Kaya's jeans.
Again, out of context, doesn't sound great.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Let's not get me arrested. Let's go into our show today. We're doing spoilers on Ironheart, the second half. We talked about the first half already. And these guys clowned me and said I had an invalid point of view, which I still think I had a valid point of view given the episodes that I had seen.
Clearly.
But Marvel
You do like that first word,
released-
Brian.
Marvel
Go ahead, talk your talk. Wes.
drops the last three. This was a couple weeks ago that it came out. Kendall, friend of the show, did say like, "Hey, we never heard the the how you guys felt about how it wrapped up, so we thought we'd come back to it and revisit it." The latest Marvel show.
This is for you, Kendall.
The next Marvel project coming down the pipeline is Fantastic Four First. What's it called?
First
something.
steps.
First
Fantastic
Steps.
Four First Steps. Already got my tickets.
First steps.
And then I don't know if there's any other Marvel Plus shows, DC Plus. What are they
Eyes
called?
of
Disney Plus
Wakanda?
shows
Of Wakanda.
comes out. That's an animated one though, right?
Yeah, it still
Yes.
counts.
Okay, cool. And that's in the fall. I think it's
Indeed.
supposed to be in the fall.
Yes.
All right. So
Actually,
Ironheart.
late summer. I think it's the end
Oh,
of
is
August.
it? Oh, I thought it was more like November time. All right. We'll have to go to the release schedule.
August 27th.
Did you put it in our calendar, Brian? Brian's been
It's in
really-
there.
Brian's been adding things to our calendar. He's so
That's
on top
in
of it. We saw Eddington on the calendar, and then it got
That
bad
one was for
reviews.
me.
Yeah,
The Eddington was for me, not
it
for you
got bad
guys, really.
reviews. I don't know. Are you gonna go see it?
It's mixed. It's like in the high 60s on Metacritic.
Ooh, I
It's
feel like
got
you
a
don't go
critic's
see.
pick from the New York Times.
Okay.
That's meaningful to me.
All right.
Savon's like, I don't give a shit.
Savon
the
doesn't care
fuck?
about any critic picks. He just cares about his own voice. He's been very clear on this from the start.
People, they get paid to hate. I trust what y'all gotta say. I trust a nonsense West opinion before some random New York
Wow.
elitist.
Wow.
I really
just
don't. If
caught
Wes
astray.
is
Caught
giving it
astray.
the A+, I'm like, but
If
is it
Brian
really?
gave- okay,
Bri-
I care what Brian gotta say over some New York East
What?
Coast elitist.
Bro. Wow.
No, because
Just
Brian made a good
That's
counterpoint.
facts.
I was like,
I have taste.
I'm under the bus here, guys. Just
At
dead.
least I know
Flattened.
that. At least I know where you're coming from. I don't
Yeah.
give
Can
a
we put a
damn
poll
where know where
out
these
there?
people coming from.
Can we
Like, who are
ask our
you?
listeners who they think among us gets it right most of the time and who gets it wrong most of the time? Let's poll
Alexis,
the audience.
vote lots of times. I need you to vote.
Use
See,
help me
all
out
the
here.
burner
See,
accounts.
this is the problem. Y'all out here warning me. People like, give a damn what these people think. I know I'm right. I don't need the
All right.
respectfully, listeners. I don't need the validation of y'all to know I'm right about some shit.
All
Now,
right.
if y'all agree, you could be on the right side of history. But
I like this platform of yours. I like this. This is good campaign strategy.
This is how Lex Luthor was born.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, I get how Flex Luthor do his thing. I get it.
You're Lex Jones right here.
He's
All
Flex Luthor.
All right, so we get the back half of Ironheart. We get a little bit more about Parker and the Hood and the deal, and then, like I said, spoilers are here. So if you haven't seen it yet and don't want spoilers, stop listening and then come back to us. We finally get a Mephisto appearance, played by the incomparable Sacha Baron Cohen of
Borat is
Borat.
Mephisto.
Borat fame.
They should have
the
been
dic-
asking
the
him how
dictator.
much.
The dictator. That's what I want, the
Mephisto, how
Aladdin.
much?
All right, so actually, let's just start there. Let's start with Mephisto because he was the headline, I think, of the show in some ways. Maybe second headline. Riri Williams first headline. Mephisto second headline. Hood last headline.
Savon is like, you putting the white guy as the headline?
The
Right?
demon. He's
That's
not a
what I'm
white
saying.
guy. He's a demon.
Why did
He's the
Riri
devil.
build the suit? Why she did all this? Then as soon as white man devil pop up, she just, ooh. I see
Oh,
your
finally,
microorganism.
something to talk
I see
about.
your microorganisms, Wes. I see what you want. No, I'm messing with you. No, he really was gas. He really was fire.
All right.
So I'm done trolling.
I'm
Continue what you was
canceled.
doing.
I've
I'm
been
done
canceled
trolling.
on my own pod by my own co-hosts. All right.
Impeached.
I've been impeached. I've been censured. Thank you.
Don't worry,
Thank
you
you
can
for my
just-
censure.
Sorry, you can just say no. I'm actually not impeached, and just continue to do the show and just wait for someone to
That
make
didn't
you.
happen. I acknowledge no such impeachment.
What impeachment?
All right. So Mephisto shows up out of the blue, kind of for me. I was like, oh, I didn't think that's where we were going. I know nothing about Mephisto. Savon, you know a little bit about Mephisto, and you've seen him in the comics. I ended up loving this portrayal of him. And I saw a video that said that in comics he tends to be a little bit more one note, a little bit less charismatic, and in this one, as a contrast, obviously Sacha Baron Cohen just drips charisma. That's kind of his whole bit, is just bringing in, and it wasn't over the top. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't
wasn't
over the top.
Borat.
Yeah. But it was really good and really interesting. And I was just like, I really enjoyed like the way that he made all these scenarios with the characters and kind of played them and built into their insecurities and what they wanted and their desires and things like that. And just did it in kind of a really interesting villain way. So I don't know. Did he land for you, Savon? I think we had talked about this offline. I think you had said you really enjoyed Mephisto appearing in this project. So what was your take on it?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I think this is how Mephisto typically goes. For all the English nerds and all that, Mephisto is short for Mephistopheles, the character from the book. What is it? Faust. It's the whole origin of the Faustian deal. The guy makes a deal with the devil, except it's a bad deal because the devil's bad and all the shit goes wrong, right? So like,
because the devil's bad.
Yeah, we know like the source material, but like I thought they did a great job of that. I think Mephisto's one of those characters in the comics where he's not flying around shooting laser beams at people and blowing up cities. Generally, he's finessing and manipulating and getting people to sell their soul and catching you at your worst moment and telling you exactly what you need to hear so that you can give up whatever you care about. And I thought I think we got peak Mephisto for that, right? Him being all charming and chill.
He was so charming.
Yeah, but
did you like the fit? How about his fit?
I like the
Is
fit.
that part of it?
I like how the fit. I mean, in the comics, he's more of just a big red demonic devil. But depending on the writer, he might appear as a lot of times he'll appear as a dude, right? Because Mephisto's not. If he's trying to make a deal with the devil not gonna come to you as a big red flaming devil. Hey, let's make a deal.
Don't mind these horns.
Yeah, usually he's appearing as a dude. And like most of those stories, right? The dude will change based on who he's talking to. Because I think he had an accent in the scene with the Hood, but he didn't with Riri. Like even their outfit and accents were different. So like it's definitely he likes to tailor his approach to who he's going, and like I thought we got exactly that. You know, the character Mephisto is infamous for making deals with comic characters who you would say, hey, you know better. And his whole bit is that I know that you know better, you know that you know better, but I'm catching you at a moment where it doesn't really matter that you know better, you're gonna do it. And you know, he's done it to Doctor Strange, he's done it to Spider-Man, and I thought this show did a good thing of like, yeah, this is how Mephisto pulls his strings.
Oh,
also
can
shout
you
out
share?
to the spoon scene where you see a little brief hint of his true
Oh,
form
you
in
do?
the spoon. Was a very big fan of that.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
In the pizza scene when he's drinking the tea, he like says he's sipping it, and if you look in the spoon,
There's a reflection.
The reflection, and it's the red demonic face Mephisto.
Oh, crazy! I gotta find a screen grab of that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I only saw it afterwards.
I saw it when I was watching. I was like, oh shit.
I could tell they wanted something to be in there, but I don't know if I was watching on my phone and it was too small, and I couldn't tell what it was.
It's basically comic Mephisto, red demon, yellow eyes.
No, it's cool.
I liked how they pulled the charming side of Mephisto, because I think when you have these deal with the devil characters, that's what makes them best. But I also like that he's still a demon, so when Parker was getting kind of mouthy with him, Mephisto flipped the switch and was very clear of like, hey, I'm not just one of those chill, I'm just hooking you up demons. Like, if you get disrespectful, this could get real ugly real quick. And so I like that.
Don't play with me, boy.
I ultimately liked their I liked how they did Mephisto, and I thought he was a nice little cherry on top of this technology versus magic story.
Wait, can you share what you had told me and Kendall about how in the comics Mephisto was actually the one who, what was it that he like had the role in Spider-Man in the forgetting spell or something?
Yeah, basically the gist of the plot from Spider-Man No Way Home.
He has to send a quick email here real quick, guys.
No. But
sorry, we're keeping you.
No, stop. No. The point is that the whole plot
I can see your true reflection in your computer.
The whole point of the plot of Spider-Man No Way Home was that Doctor Strange is erasing the world's memory in order to forget Peter Parker's Spider-Man. In the comics, such a thing happens through Civil War. You know, Spider-Man sides with Iron Man. In the comics, he goes public with his identity as like a show of faith of like, yo, I'm pro-registration. Things don't work out. And then in the comic book world, as it tends to be, you got to reestablish the status quo, right? You can't have the world knowing that everyone knows Spider-Man's Peter Parker. Again, it's been a while since I've read this. I'll get the fine details, but the overall gist is that he makes a deal with Mephisto in order to help erase the world's memory of who he is. And it basically resets the Spider-Man status quo, right? Like at this point, Peter's got like a wife, job, career, all that shit. The deal does that, but as a result, he loses everything. The point being, the plot of that movie was Doctor Strange doing it. In the comics, it's Mephisto who does it. Just to give you an idea of like how this character operates. Like the whole plot point of that movie, they say, okay, we can't have Mephisto involved, so we'll have it be Doctor Strange. But I know a big critique people had of that movie is why would Doctor Strange do something so blatantly irresponsible? In part, it's because in the comics, it was the devil who did that, and it makes a lot more sense if Mephisto's like, yeah, cool, I don't care about the repercussions of this, but
it makes that make so much more sense.
But it's to give you an idea of like, this is the kind of game Mephisto plays, you know, like even the most pure-hearted Spider-Man type characters, even the smart sorcerers like Doctor Strange still get finessed into deals because he knows how to play the game. And yeah, again, I thought the show sold us on that of like, you think you're winning, you're kind of really just in he's playing a chess game that you can't really get out of.
Wait, speaking of Spider-Man, look at this mug that a student got me.
Okay, Wes with the child brain. It's like, speaking of which, let me show you the toys on my desk.
Isn't this dope? Look at this mug.
It's objectively hard, yes.
All right.
Spider-Man.
Brian, what was your take on, or what was your reaction to Mephisto showing up as Borat? I
just love that the devil, Mephisto himself, is doing all his deals over pizza. He is finessing people. He is trying to get you on his side by having you eat delicious pizza. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I think I do get really distracted. I get kind of like foggy brain when I'm eating pizza because I'm just focused on the goodness of the pizza.
And he catch you right after you've been running from the police or fighting a demon. He'll catch you. He didn't catch you after you had a nice meal. He catch you after some wolf.
You're starving for something. You want some comfort. Yeah.
Like
pizza.
After Riri went through, I was like, shit, I would have sat down. Yeah, let me get a slice, man.
Yo, after a hard day's work and like I'm a mess and you know, some people go towards alcohol. I go to a slice place, man. I just want pizza. However, knock on the show, Should it have been Giordano's? Should it have been deep dish pizza that they were eating? Like, I know that doesn't work as well in a scene that you can't just like take a slice of big Chicago style pizza and just like have a nibble. But come on. It should have been deep dish.
A breakdown video that me and Tony watched talked about how apparently in Chicago dive bars or whatever, it's its own style. They talked specifically about the pizza.
There's a sub pizza genre in Chicago that I did not even know about.
According to them, yes, because they were talking about exactly that exact thing. I was like, is this what people fixate on?
Chicago pizza is overrated.
The devil is on screen trying to make a deal, and you MFs are like, what's the right pizza?
The devil is giving you New York style pizza. That's what's happening. He knows what's up.
Because it's better.
That's how we really know he's Mephisto.
I don't like it.
Forget
evil.
the devil in the spoon. Forget the devil
Giordano's.
in the spoon or the creepy magic. Oh, look at that pizza. Yeah, that's the devil.
Yeah, for sure.
That's some good pizza.
It's not giving us deep dish.
What were you saying, Brian?
But yeah, Mephisto is cool. Like, and the MCU has been teasing Mephisto for a long time. Like, they bring up his name in the Agatha series,
That's
right?
The first name drop.
They question whether or not Wiccan is actually the son of Mephisto or something like that. And then I think that he's also teased either in WandaVision or Doctor Strange as well. And so the fanboys, fangirls, fan out there have been talking about, Mephisto why is Kevin Feige just playing with us? And they finally slid him into a show that you would not expect him to be in. What is he doing in Ironheart? A show about a tech genius now having to deal with magic and demon powers. So that's kind of wild. What I really appreciate here was that they use this. That one, they have this entrance of Mephisto, which is really cool and unexpected, and Sacha Baron Cohen does his thing. But they use it to complicate Riri's character, and I think that's truly the success story at the end of the series. Is like, oh, Riri is not doing a hero's turn, right? Like, you figure that this whole series is just about her becoming the next Iron Man. That is not what happens at all.
Don't say that. You're gonna upset people.
Exactly. She's her own character here, right? Like, and she does this huge left turn in accepting Mephisto's deal to save her gunned down friend. Which I think the show really did a great job of establishing this beautiful, fun relationship between her and her bestie. Her bestie's dead, and Riri wants her back, and she makes this really human choice, not a hero's choice. She makes a human choice to resurrect her friend in some shape or manner. But I also think there's a lot of interesting a lot of interesting fan theories out there about what we're seeing.
That's the best part.
What we're seeing when we see Natalie and Riri back together in the garage. Where is that? Is that this? Is that this Earth? Is that a different Earth? Are they both alive? Is Riri dead? Like what is going on in that situation? Riri's got different hair. So a lot of fun things to dissect and be curious about and ponder on and speculate. And we have Mephisto to thank for that, and I think it makes Riri a much more interesting character.
Amen. Can I piggyback off that a little bit?
Yeah, I think wanted to get into how we felt about Riri at this point.
Perfect. That's what I want to get into. So I went into this show, I think a lot of us did. We really didn't know what kind of show this was going to be. We knew that technology versus magic was going to be a theme. We knew the hood, we knew that. But I think other than that, we really didn't know too much about it or what to expect or what kind of story this was going to be. I think maybe in the back of my mind, I just expected your typical superhero story. Okay, this is the path of Riri becoming a hero. And by the second to last episode, I started realizing, oh, this isn't really a hero story. This is like, she's a much more neutral character, like, she's not evil. She's not a hero, but
she's a shiro. Oh,
sorry. It was really just a drama about this really, really smart woman in this world of superheroes and stuff. But this wasn't really a superhero story. This was like a drama about a young woman dealing with grief and unresolved trauma and, trying to like this is more of about like Riri as a person. And I don't think I expected that initially, to just be so like focused on her. But I think the end result is that Riri is, in my opinion, probably one of the more layered and complex Marvel characters we've gotten, I would argue, period. It doesn't mean she has to be your favorite, but I think she's complicated. She doesn't have like the immediate heroic qualities of some of the others. She's, you know, one of my favorite tropes. She's a working class character, right? Who's like, okay, they don't just have infinite money and resources. So that's
Have you watched Blank Man yet?
Watch what?
Blank Man. Come
I
on.
don't think. Did you mention that to me?
Yes, last time we talked about working class superheroes. Anyway,
Sorry,
I'm
Blank
sorry I interrupted you.
No,
Please continue.
you're good. Okay, I'm writing it down. Blank Man. But like, you know, she's working class. She got her struggles, all that. I don't know. Riri's a very human character. She does a lot of crappy human things, and I like that the show doesn't shy away from people calling that out. I think a theme in the show, right, is that her mom, Hood, her friends, pretty much everybody in her life calls her out for being closed off, for being a manipulator, and for being like a liar. Her mom, Stain, like that's a clear thing about her character, and that's going to be a part of her character growth. But I've been enjoying Riri as a character because she pisses me off, but she pisses me off because she does very, very human things. And while that frustrates me, I appreciate it rather than things where the character's always just making the right choice or the right choice for the sake of advancing the plot. Like, oh no, Riri did stuff that actually set the plot back, but it's a human character. It's a trait that's consistent with her character and all that. And I guess I just appreciate how human she feels. And that's why I appreciated the ending, because Riri pissed me all the way off. I was
Really?
She
got to you.
I was livid. I was like, Riri, the whole point of this has been you trying to get past her trauma, which granted, when they built the suit, she actually didn't get past her trauma, right? Losing the AI version of her friend actually made her regress a lot, which again, I love those types of character moments. But all this to say, her pissing me off was a good thing because it means that I care. I've seen lots of shows where characters do dumb shit and I'm like, oh, that was dumb. And then I just am like, whatever, that's dumb.
You peace out.
Riri, it's like, that's dumb. And I'm like, no. But like I'm more invested in her story because I care about her and I want to see her succeed because I see her take a step forward, take a step back, take a step forward, take a step back. And I didn't think we were going to get so much of that in just 6 episodes. So I like Riri's character, but the biggest thing, this is my biggest thing about the show as a whole, she needs to have an arc that finishes out and continues. If you can finish out her arc, it could be one of the best Marvel stories you get. But I would hate for this to go the Moon Knight route of just that's it, because this is a arc that is good depending on how you stick the landing, and this is clearly not the landing.
I mean, I guess I would agree with that, but that's sort of why I feel like I had the opposite reaction. Is I just felt like there wasn't really any development in terms of Riri's like learning, growth, change, whatever. She doesn't seem more wise about anything. She doesn't seem more worldly about anything. She doesn't seem to have changed how she acts or you know how to like act on her principles even when it's hard. Like, it's sort of just like you kind of, I don't know, I feel like if you're going to tell a story about a character, generally that character should probably develop in some way or change in some way or be changed by the events that happen and come out the other side in a slightly different way, right? And I don't think we got that. I think we got Riri still making dumb decisions that are based on her insecurities, that are just based on her need. And we got a little explanation about why she makes those choices, but we didn't get to see her fulfill a different type of destiny or to change how people perceive her or how she perceives herself. She kind of just sees herself as the same person who's, you know, doing these things because she wants to and because she's good at building technology and stuff, and now she's getting a little bit of help to make more of that thing. And so it's like, well, if you want to characterize her as someone who's like not selfish, but, you know, very focused on what she wants to do in terms of her building and in terms of her I don't know, engineering like prospects and just wanting to build like the best suit she can or do whatever, like learn the most she can about technology and AI and things. It's kind of like she's still kind of that same person and she didn't really change.
You think she didn't really change?
Not really. I mean, like you said, you know, like Brian said she made a left turn or maybe you said she made a left turn and it's like, actually, I don't think she made a left turn. I think she just kept going straight. And the left turn was that we expected her to actually make a left turn and to start wearing some of this like superhero mantle, and she hasn't. And I don't know, I just kind of, like you said, you know, if they stick the landing and there's another season and maybe I change my mind, but like as of right now I am kind of just like, all right, like why did I watch all of that for everything to be exactly the same, except Parker like got demoted, you know, and de-hooded or whatever. But other than that, I'm just like, I don't know, I didn't really love that, like that's how they kind of chose to do it. And I feel conflicted about that because it's like we often talk, or I think I often want stories that don't feel so forced, that don't so feel like they're on rails.
Because that would have been a solution, honestly, Wes. Like the solution, what you're
And
saying,
this one
is that
isn't
they would
on
have had
rails.
to.
Yeah, and this one isn't on rails. This one like does subvert what you expect to happen, and it's not a superhero journey yet. Maybe it will be in the future, but it's not yet. And so I don't know. I feel kind of two minds of it. Like I'm glad that maybe they took a risk and they didn't tell a story that was just like cliche cookie cutter. You know exactly what's going to happen. And on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, but they kind of told a story that like sort of doesn't. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it sort of doesn't matter. Like you could have. The Riri in the first episode is kind of the same Riri in the last episode, and except now she has veins or marks on her skin.
I disagree with you, Wes. Like I hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I think part of maybe what's challenging with this show is that the writing and the directing, it can kind of be all over the place sometimes. It's not always the strongest. And so I think Riri's character arc gets lost in that. But I do think she has changed by the point that she makes this deal with Mephisto, in that the real journey or character arc that she's having is one of admitting to herself this loss, this grief to begin with. Like she won't even say the real reason why she's making the suit. She won't talk about that vulnerability and the grief. Like even the fact that the AI Natalie was created was an accident for her, right? It's like almost her subconscious coming out. It was not something that she's actively trying to do. She's not really trying to address Natalie. She's not trying to remember the moment when she was killed. She's not trying to confront a lot of things. And so when Mephisto presents this deal and she is actually admitting to herself now for the first time after all this stuff has happened with the fake Natalie and like people in her life wanting to talk about it, right? She's now being confronted with this deal and she accepts it because she does realize that there is this gaping thing in her that she so desperately wants back, and that she is opening up herself to that vulnerability. And I think that is the thing that Mephisto is preying on. And that is the way in which this character has changed. I think there are a lot of stories and movies out there where you want the character to have a change that is for the good. This is a change that's sort of good, but also for the negative.
It's like a sideways, a little bit of a sideways, if not a little bit backwards. Like she's learned about herself, but she also made a deal with Mephisto.
Yeah. So like I think it's a character study that way. Whether or not the show earns that, that deal and like has convinced you of it is like another question. But I think that has to do with an execution thing with the writers, honestly. But I think, just as like what would happen to a character, like, yeah, I buy it. I do buy that, she could have this type of an arc.
I think I bought that it was like kind of realistic. If you're struggling and you're dealing with a lot of things in your past that are hard for you, and maybe I don't want to always call everything traumatic, but traumatic in a lot of ways, and or just difficult and challenging, and you've had a habit and a track record of making maybe poor choices or just choices that go like maybe against your self-interest sometimes, then like I believe it. Like you probably are still going to make choices in the future that are also against, like you don't change overnight and turn into like, oh, now I like make all the right choices all of a sudden, and so like in that way, like I buy it. Like she's still a flawed person and whatever. And I think it's also just like, I don't know, at the end of the day, I was kind of like, okay, like I guess thanks for telling me that flawed people are still flawed.
Like, well, they can be flawed, but in new ways.
Yeah,
right. And
like
I think that's what's happening
like they're flawed.
here.
I felt like she's still kind of flawed in the same way, but
I'm with Brian though. I think like she definitely had a clear emotional breakthrough about her trauma, and she had some lessons she learned. She just didn't learn all the lessons. But all that to say, this show
maybe
clearly,
she needs more.
Yeah, but clearly the challenge was also 6 episodes. You can only do so much. That being
but
said,
that's a choice.
Not a choice of the people who are making a show. Like that's less of their control. And then we've talked about how when you're just trying to tell any story, there's a certain point where you only get so much time. Like you got to make a call. Like you even said before, you got to choose. All right, do you want to put it like this? I'm glad that Ironheart went the route of, hey, we got 6 episodes. Let's tell a potentially good long form story that, okay, we're here. And if there's good reception, there's potential to build off of this story, potentially. I'd rather them do that than the safe route of, okay, we know we might not get more. Let's just do a cookie cutter thing that we squeeze into these 6 episodes, where even before we watched the show, some of us were joking about how you could probably predict by episode 4 what's going to happen. And, because the shows tended to be a little bit formulaic in terms of how pacing and whatnot happen. If we don't get more Ironheart, that'd be disappointing. But I rather them take a chance on this arc that can be continued from than something that maybe has a neater bow on it, but was ultimately a weaker story or did less. Like,
I don't know.
I would have been
I think
disappointed if we ended with Ironheart as just a hero in the iron suit and they just did that in 6 episodes. I'm like, all right, that's cool, but like, that's one of those things. Like, we were talking how we didn't
that's
want
2
the show to
movies,
be
though.
predictable.
That's 6 episodes is the length of 2 movies. Like, you could absolutely establish a character and have them make that change and transition or whatever in 2 movies. So I don't know that you can say 6 episodes isn't enough. Like,
I mean, it's different types of
you got to make
storytelling.
choices
TV
around.
and movie,
Yeah, it's different
but
types of
TV and
storytelling.
movie are 2 different types of media, though. Like, I don't think they're comparable in that regard.
But I don't know if you're not sure there's going to be a season 2. Then I think as a viewer, I would want you to have some more of a like bigger step. I think in that first season. Because like
something we can build off of than something mediocre that's just it. Like, if it was just it and it just ended, it's like, oh, it was mid, we didn't like it, give it a C- or whatever, and then that's just it, and we don't talk about it again.
I think that's fair, and I would normally feel that way
be better
if I knew that there was going to be a second season.
Now we're getting into just how modern, now we're talking about just how media is produced. Of like, hey, do you roll out a finished story that's kind of mid, but you got something done, or do you roll out something that can be a part of something bigger, but you gotta hopefully build up momentum that's not guaranteed. I prefer the latter, but I get the former.
Yeah. Backstory on this particular show. This show was kind of concocted before, Disney and the MCU said like, okay, we're gonna focus more on fewer titles, tighter quality, etc. And so like they kind of shelved this one for a few years. It also got interrupted by the strikes. So I think they had other ideas, and then the release just kept getting pushed back further and further and further, and then dropped into the random part of June over the course of 2 weeks. Right. So it's like a vestige from an earlier direction for the MCU that who knows like what kind of future it's going to have now, and whether or not it even fits into the current iteration of the MCU. Yeah. But I think they probably had other ideas for it before. So
I think it'll be a reception thing. If the show has decent reception and has like a solid fan base, I think they'll say, okay, people want more of this and we'll give it more. And I'm okay with them I'm okay with just the implied risk of that. And, I get the risk. I'm like, you know what? Let's go for it. Because you never know what shit ends up being popular, and then that spawns a reboot, a remake, more. Like, that happens all the time with streaming. So, all you can do is hope that grassroots fans or people who watch it will give Disney a legitimate idea of how folks feel, and then hopefully we get more. But if not, then, hey, I appreciate that they at least tried to tell a long story.
We don't even know if Mephisto is in the plans for the rest of the MCU, right? Like, he's also another thing. Like, they introduced this big smoking gun. Like, is it going to fire later? Like who knows? It's going. It could go right up there with Kang, or they could try to tie Sacha Baron Cohen into Secret Wars and stuff like that. But I will say, it is interesting though that we got to see Mephisto. I think it's cool for Riri to take this turn. I would love to see what happens to her character. I hope they don't forget about her and that she shows up in something. Armor Wars, something, right? And then there's also, the whole magic storyline or lore that they started to introduce via the candy store.
Love that, by the way, with Zelma
and Parker going on this whole journey with them too, right? It. Like, is the Hood destined to become the Ghost Rider as he has recently in the comic books? Like, was that what they're setting up? Like, who knows? Maybe Marvel drops all this stuff and we never see these characters ever again.
Maybe never again.
But I'm curious.
Cool
I'd be curious to see them. I'd be curious to see all these characters one more time.
Absolutely.
Right?
We got Chicago. We got lots of cool black characters. We got magic and technology. And like, I think the world building of this show I really enjoyed, of like, hey, this is a cool little pocket of the Marvel world that we don't get to see. A mix of street level, but technology, magic. Like, it's a cool set piece in the world that is different than I think some of the other set pieces we get of just rich people and government agents and soldiers and shit, right? Like, that's cool and all, but to your point, Brian, like, there's a lot of cool, interesting concepts and ideas that this show introduced and put out there And even despite all the production stuff around it, I don't think that this was a bad show. And more importantly, I really think the foundation is strong to build up all of this. I think this is a show that's like, hey, maybe without the production issues and stuff around it and the show being put on ice with a little more focus, it could be even better. But like, I want more Riri. I want to like see her thing. I want all the stuff about Natalie is an amazing like cliffhanger of like technology, magic, soul, zombie. Is she dead? Is she alive? What the hell is she? I don't know. These are the philosophical questions that could be the basis of an entire effing season 2 of Ironheart. And it's like, yo, man, like I want it. Give me that. Yo, give me more Loki season 2 with all these paradoxes and me wanting to smoke a cigarette after and all this time travel stuff.
I just realized.
Give me more Mephisto and Riri.
One of the show gave a new reason for her to be named Ironheart because she's closed off to her own feelings.
Yeah, 100%.
I
She
just
turned
got
out
it.
the real Ironheart was in her all along. Nah, but like that's real shit though, man. Like I know Riri be pissing me off, but I'm like, yo, man, that's how people reacted, man. You ever try to talk to somebody grieving and you just like it's trying to pull teeth and it's like, oh my god, bro. Like I get it, but like I'm like that was the most realistic frustrating. I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could just grab her and shake her and be like, talk about your feelings. You missed your stepdaddy and your friend. Talk about it.
Let's get into it.
Granted, that's what the mama did, and she was like, "Yeah, I ain't trying to hear that shit." And I'm like, I feel you, man.
Yeah.
Teens, right?
On their own time.
Young adults,
all right.
right?
How do you? All right. So, what's your rating on the show, Brian? Where are you standing?
7.4 something.
Okay. Wow,
Something
that's
like
very
that.
specific. Okay.
I put it like in the range of Moon Knight, somewhere there.
I think that's fair.
All right.
I think that's fair.
I would rate this. I don't have a number rating for this one. I rate it as it's fine. Sav, what do you rate
What kind
it
of
as?
cop out is that? No.
Yeah, what is fine in your scale?
It's like below. It's like below good. It's below great. It's below amazing. It's fine.
I'm going to ask you to quantify this between a 1 and
Nope.
a 10.
I'm,
or 1 and
I'm
a 5.
doing fine. It's fine.
All right, we got to cancel Wes. He's copping out because he doesn't want to say something offensive again.
Where would you place it?
I don't know how to
MCU
give it a number
pantheon?
thing. It's just
Yeah.
fine.
Put it in a tier list.
I think
what show would you say it's comparable to?
It's probably around Moon Knight-ish, something like that. Captain
Like that.
America.
You're just saying that because he said it.
Or what's that? Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh
You
no,
didn't like that? You didn't like that show?
That's definitely like in the bottom tier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Chill. It's not that bad.
I like some of that. I like some of the stuff with Isaiah Bradley in that show, and some of the action scenes were pretty dope.
Okay.
John Walker is kind
fair
of
enough. Fair enough.
and John Walker was like a believable a-hole. Like I hated him, but that was maybe good acting. I don't know. It was fine. That's fine. I don't know that I need to rewatch any of these shows again.
I'll give this show this
Sav?
one gives me a solid B. I'll give it a B.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Nice.
It's granted, and again, I say this all the time, right? I'm biased. I admit that I'm giving it a little thumb on the scale bias because I think these are cool characters, and this is like a part of the world that the premise alone draws me in more than some other stuff. So that always gives me a little bit of a bias against it, a bias towards it. But
that's good.
This is a B show. It was cool. It was and then more importantly, and I say this all the time, I'm not gonna stop running my mouth about it. I like getting to see different cultural elements of the world in the MCU. We got to see a cool Black Chicago story with cool Black Chicago music and art and set pieces and places around the city. With even just having the legendary Cree Summer as a famous voice actor, Cree Summer, and her daughter Zelma working the magic shop. All that's like I like the set pieces we get with deep space and the government military stuff, but I love these street level stories too, and I'm always a fan of just having a diverse MCU palette. So a B show, and I think there's nothing wrong with having a show that's a B. Like that's fine. Everything can't be an A, F, plus.
Yeah. True. All right. We also wanted to a quick. So we're gonna transition now. That's our Ironheart. We're doing a what we're loving. Bom 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 bom. Actually, I don't know how the drop goes anymore. There's like slot machine music happening on it. What? Oh, it goes what we're loving. All right. Anyways, we'll drop that.
Can we get a remix to
that? Durio, hit us up with a remix.
Yeah, get us a remix.
I'll see if I can holler at Durio.
We'll throw you some.
We're loving.
No, don't do that.
Loving.
All right, veto. I veto. Let's just keep how we had it. Traditionalist. All right, what we're loving. Brian, what's your what we're loving this week?
Now that we're thinking about music, should I talk about the Clips album? Yo, that shit.
I've been hearing
fire.
good things on Twitter. I haven't heard it yet.
They're all over YouTube. I kind of can't get enough of it.
Yeah,
but that's not my what we're loving. My what we're loving is something that came out this week. a new game for the Switch 2 that some people are calling the actual killer app, the actual launch title for the Switch 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Donkey
Hell
Kong.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not even like over Mario Kart World yet. Like I have still been all over that. That game is just like the perfect game for, getting 10 minutes of fun here and there, and like, I just got to race some people and try out this new car and see if I could top what I did before.
Wait, is it like Gran Turismo? Like you have to soup up your car?
No, you just get new cars.
Oh, okay.
And they
Like,
all
okay,
have
nice.
different
you
attributes.
unlock new cars, kind of.
Yeah,
thing?
you unlock
Okay.
new cars. They have, different handling, different speed, different acceleration.
Wow, hater. Savon, hater.
And then, wow, Savon not feeling the production on the Clips album?
Oh, we'll get
Yeah,
to that.
You're
We'll get to
hating on
that.
Pharrell? Yeah, you're hating on Skateboard Pete? I actually think the Neptunes are better together. That's what the album shows, that Pharrell needs Chad Hugo a little bit more. But that doesn't mean the production isn't good.
We'll talk
anyway,
this later. Finish your thing. I like the beats. Like, who coming at my neck?
I want to talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza, which really feels like, yo, this is the Switch 2. This is new hardware, new tech, upgraded hardware. And let's see it show off what it can do. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is just wild. I've barely even scratched the surface of this game. I've played maybe a total of 2 hours so far, and I've barely gotten into the story. And part of that,
Oh no, I don't know. It says
Got
Brian
banished
has
it.
stopped recording.
Yeah, you got
Something
banished
went
to the Shadow
wrong,
Realm.
and they're not being recorded anymore. Everyone else is still being recorded. Ask Brian to refresh, then rejoin from a regular browser, not incognito. Okay, refresh.
yo,
Nope,
Hey.
still sound terrible.
What
Did you
happened to my
unplug
mic?
something? I don't know.
I have no idea what happened.
Ooh, you were right in the middle of making things good. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go pee. Figure it out.
Whoa, my mic is connected. Can you hear me, Savon?
I can hear you, but it sounds like you sound.
Uh.
Tap your mic. Can you tap your mic? Are you tapping it?
Something?
It's not your mic. You're using your computer mic right now.
What happened? Can you say something?
Something.
Okay. You're coming back in my headphones. That's good. Can you hear the mic?
Tap the mic again.
No.
Nope.
I'm gonna leave and come.
Is it working?
No.
No?
It won't let me
Should
choose my mic.
I don't know. Should I just
gonna
end it
exit.
and we restart it? Technical difficulties. Hey, yo. Doop, doop, doop.
Yo.
Hello.
Can you-
Oh,
Does that work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
pretty good.
Sorry.
Okay, let's see. Are you recording now? Let me see. 6% uploaded, 55%. Okay, looks like it's recording you. Cross your fingers, everybody. Otherwise, we'll just cut it off after Ironheart.
yeah. Yeah, seriously.
All right, so I think
I'm saying-
start over from where you said like this is groundbreaking.
Yeah. So
Start there.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is really showing off the tech of the Switch 2. It's really a dazzling display of what this upgraded hardware can do. I've barely even scratched the surface of this game yet. I've only played maybe 2 hours worth and not even progressed into the proper storyline yet.
It's like you're on the island still in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, basically. and the reason is not because the game isn't propelling me forward. It's because I'm so distracted by what I can do in the game. So the whole premise of Donkey Kong Bonanza is that, you play as DK, who's this big hulking ape, and he just breaks stuff. He breaks everything. All he does is punch the ground, punch the walls, punch the ceiling. If you try to punch other monkeys, however, you just auto high five them instead. Which I love that little
deal with
detail.
The intrusive thought to shut down the intrusive thought. People just want to punch everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
But
it.
otherwise,
How long until you tried to punch another monkey once you found out you could punch everything? How
Immediately.
long did it
absolutely,
take?
that's the
Yeah.
first thing you do. It's like, I'm gonna try to crush this monkey. Let's see the blood. Not that kind of game because it's Nintendo. But what they do reward you with this breaking mechanic, with this punching mechanic, is that you can destroy all the things around you. The entire environment is interactive, and so you're just like punching away at these walls till they all fall apart, and you end up tunneling through the walls, you end up tunneling through the ground, you tunnel through the ceiling. And so I've seen social media posts of somebody that is just doing not even the first level, the first room of the first level that you land in the game, where they have not progressed from that because they are trying to completely 100% the room of clearing out all the earth and soil and ground that you can punch away. Because what happens is you like punch the ground and like the earth crumbles, right? And there's just dirt and debris and rocks and stuff that come out. And so people are just cleaning out entire environments until there's absolutely nothing left to punch except
This feels symbolic for our life and times today.
I mean, kind of. It's cleaning. It's a cleaning piece of
but also
homework.
super destructive, like completely destructive.
Oh, absolutely destructive. And it's so satisfying. I think it's what the world needs right now. Sometimes you just gotta like tear stuff up, you know, like sometimes we give a cardboard box to our dog so that she could just have at it and destroy it. And I'm feeling that now. And Donkey Kong is the thing that allows me to do that. And it's just super satisfying. And also, again, going back to the hardware, it's amazing at how much the game allows you to do, and that the game can sustain itself while you're having tons of these particles and interactive environments being displaced constantly, right? So it's maintaining that state of the environment that which you left it at, right? Like you just tunneled through the ground and went up to the other side of the room in a way that, you know, is unique to your play experience from Donkey Kong. And you're doing that all over the place, right? So it's like, even though technically this game is a platformer, it's not like
this is giving like sandbox.
It's more sandbox.
Odyssey. Is this like Super Mario Odyssey almost?
It's created by the same team as Super Mario Odyssey. But you know, in Super Mario Odyssey, yeah, you're playing around and you're sort of like trying to complete these objectives in that environment. But here, that this environment is completely interactive, right? You can climb everything. You can scale anything that you see. You can basically scale it and then punch your way through it and then punch your way down it to see what's underneath it, right? And so it's kind of crazy how they built out these things. Like it's like they had to start with a framework and then fill it with stuff that you could then tunnel around and kind of maze through on its own just for fun. It's like not even part of the core story yet. Like I'm so distracted by all of this, I haven't progressed to my objective in the game. I don't know what the objective is yet. After playing 2 hours of just smashing things, and it's great, and it's also not as one-dimensional as I'm making it sound, right? Donkey Kong has a different array of moves that you can do. The game hasn't taught me all those things yet, but just by playing around with the buttons, I'm able to do them. You know, you got like the standard things where you like power drop into something, but he also does these spin rolls. He can lob off a chunk of earth and then use that as a weapon and hurl it at people, or he can use it to surf on, basically. So just a lot of fun details, a lot of fun things built into this, and incredible amount of flexibility for a platforming game, for a Nintendo platforming game. You know, they have really set the standard for what you do in platformers, and I think this is just taking it to the next level and creating an entirely new kind of experience that in a lot of ways feels inspired by Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where, you know,
that world is your oyster gameplay of like,
yeah, we're introducing a mechanic, let's see what you do with it, and that is now what has happened. And Nintendo is just you know, doing a master class in how to change the nature of gaming, and still maintaining their identity, still maintaining the fun and frivolity that you count on Nintendo for, but just adding new dimensions to it.
So would you say that this game has kind of like stepped up the because, you know, the Donkey Kong franchise has, I think, been a little bit less renowned and deep. You know, in the 90s they were like big stuff, right? But like,
yeah, they haven't had one. They haven't had one since Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I remember was like the Donkey Kongo, where you had the Congo bongos, but that was on GameCube. But even then, that's 20 plus years ago, you know?
Oh yeah.
So like,
and it's a different type of game entirely.
Yeah. So does this game like? So when I think about how
there was a game where you had to play Congos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it
It was
came
the
with
controller. It had a controller
a
console.
peripheral.
bongos.
Yeah.
Not Congo,
perfect.
bongos.
Because when you go to Walmart, when I went to Walmart as a kid, they used to have the little demo gaming display, and it would have the demo Donkey Kong things, and you can go there in the game section and play. Yeah, I used to remember that all the time. I was so lit when I was a
Amazing.
kid. But
All right.
hell, that was his
Peripherals.
That
It's
was
all
his
about the peripherals in that age.
Hell, that was his ultimate smash in Super Smash Bros. Donkey Kong would do the Congo thing and play the music for the game. So like, I know the Mario games, you know, Sunshine revolutionized it with the water physics, and Galaxy revolutionized it with the space going planet to planet mechanics, right? Like Odyssey revolutionized it with the just the 3D open world type element, you know. Is Donkey Kong game? Is this Breath of the Wild revolutionized?
This feels very much in that vein.
Is this one of those, Nintendo's known for like, this game was like their flagship game, and it was a paradigm in terms of unique elements that could never is this one of those things that's so cool the next Donkey Kong we get is just not going to have this mechanic because this is so cool that it's going to be unique to this one, similar to other, and I don't say that in a bad way, but like, is this one of those big, should I be putting this in the upper echelon of like, Nintendo innovated their ass off when they pushed out this game, and it's a defining game for the gen, the way we talk about Galaxy and Sunshine? Like, does this feel like giving that kind of energy?
It feels like it could. I haven't played the full game yet. I don't know exactly how much they're going to be able to keep my attention and keep developing on this mechanic throughout the game, but so far it does feel very much like that. This is a showcase for the console, and probably a defining moment for it, right? Like, this is what it can do, and we're changing what you would expect from a platforming game like this, right? Like, who'd have thought that they wouldn't launch with a Super Mario game?
Yeah,
right. So that's wild. And so the fact that they chose Donkey Kong to do this specific type of game, right, where you are wrecking things, this is doesn't feel like Mario in that sense at all, because it's entirely destructive, and so this feels like new territory that is very specific to this game, and will probably be a standard bearer for the rest of the generation of the console.
I'm looking forward to seeing what cool things you and other folks have figured out a month from now. The way y'all were talking about, Breath of the Wild and all, the way people took advantage of that building system. So I can't wait to hear more about this in a couple months of just like, all right, cool. We see what this system is. I want to see what people can do with it when you let them really sit with it for a while. That's what I'm curious about. So please, Brian, I look forward to you telling us.
I'm sure that people are going to play around with it and like find crazy things that you can do with Donkey Kong and the surroundings, the environment.
They're making mechs in Breath of the Wild. So I'm like, oh god, they're making mechs and kaiju and the engineers going crazy in Breath of the Wild. I can only imagine what they're going to do with this. So I'm excited. I'm glad Nintendo's able to always just innovate, sometimes for innovation's sake, but ultimately it's for the love of the game.
The first hint of that I'm starting to see, I think people are making Donkey Kong art. Like they're using the
Pixel
breaking
art.
the earth mechanic, to basically make sculptures in the levels. So we'll see what else comes out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it feels like they're taking Minecraft, right? Minecraft's mechanic, and then adding it into a Donkey Kong game and a platformer, and seeing like, well, how does that change things? And
how does it apply to a character like this?
Yeah, and I just saw a couple clips on YouTube right now, and it's like he's just he's like got to jump over things, he's got to avoid some obstacles, he's got to interact and gain these power-ups or whatever, and some of it is like a speed run and all these different things. So it's kind of cool. I wonder if other people have played it. Have you talked to anybody else who's played it?
No.
Okay. So
only been out for 2 days.
Got to get more out there for people to enjoy it and kind of share their ideas more. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Brian. Are you still,
how about the Clips album? Let God sort them out. Jeez.
Are you still 100% in on Switch 2? You're like, yep, this is the new hotness.
I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm loving it. I haven't even gotten a Cyberpunk yet because I've been so busy with Mario Kart and revisiting Tears of the Kingdom, the upgraded versions. Great investment. Switch 2.
You've been playing Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. They released the upgraded versions of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, so there's some new features in it. And then once you're back in the game, you're like, oh my god, this is so good. Looks really great. Plays even better on the Switch 2. And there's a billion things that I never did in the game left over even after beating it. And so, I'm sort of sucked back in.
You did beat it the first time?
Of course.
All
Of
right.
course.
So
but
wait,
I
so
did not
did you start
100% it.
did you start from scratch or did you just
No,
continue
no,
on?
continue with the same game because I'm trying to find more temples.
Cool.
And one of the new upgrade features is there's a companion phone app that has GPS that helps you find the temples as well as unlock new memories
Oh, all right.
in the game. So that's been like a fun thing to play around.
Switch
Nice.
2. Yeah, I like that Switch 2 is having like a pretty solid launch, right? There's been really no negative stories or like, oh, we hate Nintendo for doing this, and they really seems like they've got the launch down pretty well here. And 2 games that seem to be really good right off the bat within a month of each other.
They're really good. I would say though they don't feel like the 100% games like Breath of the Wild did at launch, right?
Yeah.
But that a game like that is once every 20 years.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I got a quick what we're loving. Mine is a Netflix show. It's been out for a couple of months now, I believe, or maybe at least a month, and it's called The Eternaut. It's an Argentine series. I think it's 6 episodes, something like that. And the premise is, I don't want to go into like too many spoilers. The premise is this group of friends or these people are in Buenos Aires, and they're like
Buenos Aires?
they're having a hangout. Yes, that's in Argentina. They're having a hangout, and
Argentina?
and is that how they say it in Argentina?
I don't know. You've been.
I have been. It was a long time ago. I know they say the double L sound. It comes out like a J, so it's Kaje instead of Kaye. But that's all I remember really. So they they're hanging out, and then all of a sudden there's kind of some noises, and then their electricity kind of spazzes, and then they realize that that their neighbor who was hanging out on the street has keeled over and died in the middle of the street. And they're kind of taken aback, but they realize something weird is going on because of the power outage, and then there's snow, and there shouldn't really be like this much snow. And so they're about to go save him, and then they hear some like crashing things, and it turns out this car is just like out of control coming down the street, and it just comes to a stop into the back of a parked car. And they're like, that person didn't try to hit the brakes at all. And then they're like, what do we do about this? And it turned, and they kind of put it together like maybe it's dangerous outside, or maybe there's like toxic air outside or something like that. And the rest of the series so far, I'm only on episode 3. The rest of the series is them trying to figure out what's going on. What are the rules of this apocalypse, situation? How do they survive? And in some ways, it plays out a lot like other post-apocalypse things, like kind of like the opening of Walking Dead and the opening of The Last of Us, where you've got to watch out for other people who are trying to capture resources. You yourself have to maybe be able to obtain resources. How do you do that when you can't go outside? When electronic things don't seem to be working because like all the electricity is gone, and like they and they're just trying to figure out like how to make their way through this thing. The show, and I think they've are going in like an alien invasion direction.
Okay.
I think that's where it ends up going. I don't think that's like a spoiler, but in episode 3, we haven't seen really that yet. Like we haven't come across any aliens, and there's maybe a hint of some kind of like large being that has come through, like a bear-sized thing, because like there's parts of a train that have been smashed out. Other than that, like right now, the real focus is on like, how do you survive? How do you make contact with other people? How much do you trust other people in a situation like this when you know that resources are going to be limited? Except because they were hanging out at a friend's house. These are adults. They're all older, like in their 40s and 50s and stuff. And how do they get in touch with other people? Their cell phones don't work. There's no like landline service. They're worried about their kids. Like a couple of them have kids, or maybe one of them has a kid that's out there, and they don't know how to get in touch with her. And it's not really safe to go outside. So they're just trying to figure this out. It's like super tension filled because you see people die. Like when they show you a couple of times, as soon as someone like gets into the air or gets out into uncovered space, they immediately just keel over. There's not like blood. There's no screaming. They don't like have pox. They just drop dead. Right. They're right there on the street.
Are they being gassed by the aliens? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I think by the end of the second episode, I don't know. This is like a little bit of spoiler. It's the snow itself seems to like affect you in some way. And I don't think they're going to go into too many details about like the physiology of it. It's just it's basically you get exposed to like air and that's outside, but you could be like, so, but you have to be covered and you're safe. So like as long as the snow can't fall on you, you're good. But like if you reach outside of a window and it's not covered, then you die. But if you're inside, even if the window's open, you're okay as long as the snow's like not blowing in and getting onto you.
They got snow in Argentina?
Well, they only have snow because of this whatever event.
This
has
weird
occurred.
event.
Yeah. Because right before that, it was like super hot. It was summer. They established that it was summer right before.
Oh,
this.
I see.
Yeah.
So more mysteries in question.
Yeah, and apparently they come to realize like also the snow like loses toxicity once it's been on the ground for a little bit. So like if it's on your clothes but you come inside, the snow is not going to make you sick once it's inside because it's been sitting there for a while. So yeah, I don't know. It's just the so far the strength of the show is actually just the tension building that they've done on like how do you solve these puzzles, right? As with all these constraints that they have, and how do you function in this small group of, I don't know how many there are, like 5 of them or 6 of them. How do they function and make decisions? What tools do they have? What expertise do they bring? What courage do they have to like try different things? And then because they have different priorities, some of them are kind of at odds with each other, and they're like in a little bit of a tension space. Like one of them like is not really part of the friend group. He's just visiting. He just can't kind of tagged along, but the group doesn't really know him, and so they don't know how much they can trust him, and he doesn't really trust them. He doesn't like them necessarily because they kind of are a little bit rude to him. There's like a delivery person who happened to be like in the door in like the building next door, and they kind of like not rescue her, but she becomes part of the group, but they don't know her at all, and she's a little bit younger than them, or a lot younger than them.
Is that the Glenn character?
Maybe,
like from Walking Dead.
She hasn't done a whole lot yet, so we'll see. They've given us a little bit of like her relationship with her brother before the event, but yeah. So far really good. It's all in Spanish. I think you have to subtitle it, but it's been a really good watch. The acting is superb. Like you believe all these people are those people, and the way that they act seems like that's how that's how that person would react in that situation. It's not over the top. It's really well done. There's a lot of dead bodies on the ground. They do get outside at some point, or like they're able to like find their way outside using like some of the tools that they have or whatever. And you see lots of dead bodies, and the makeup and not special effects, the effects that they're doing, they're really good. It all looks real, like how someone just would collapse on the street, and then if it was really cold, like 30 degrees outside or 20 degrees outside, that's maybe how their body might look frozen in position.
Okay.
Yeah, so far it's been really good, and I don't even know where they're eventually going with the story. Like so far it's just been like, how do we get in touch with maybe people we know that are in other parts of the city to make sure that they're okay or not okay? And you're wondering like, did they actually all die? Because we find people obviously dead everywhere. And they had this one scene where people were on like a commuter train, and he comes across the train, and most of the people are dead. The doors had opened, and the people had tried to crawl out because they realized like something was going on, but obviously they didn't know. So they all came out, and then they just dropped dead on the floor. And there's one car where the people stayed in the train, didn't open the doors. It was open on the end, so that's how we know the air itself is not toxic. But they start banging on the door or the windows to try to get him to help them somehow. And he goes inside, and he realizes there's like 15 or 20 people in there, and he doesn't have anything for them. And there's no way for them to get off the train, because if they leave the train, they're all going to die.
Yeah, it's like a lot of survival stuff of just like puzzles, how you get through these situations, like logistics
and what
planning.
choices do you make? And he doesn't know what to do with them. Like he wants to help them, but he also realizes there's actually nothing I can do for you. And if I try, he kind of gets that like if I come too close to you, you guys are going to do something stupid, and we're all going to die, or I'm going to die. And so he ends up leaving them. He like throws them a bottle of his water, which pretty valuable in a post-apocalyptic space, but he gives them water, and that's kind of the extent. And he leaves them, and you could tell he feels kind of bad about it, but also he's like, this is the choice, because there's nothing else I can do for you. Even if I tried to help you, there's nothing I could do. And it just sucks. You're like, wow, that's a whole train full of people that they're alive, and they could tell they're going to die, and they're just going to starve it out until they get desperate or whatever. And So it makes you it forces you to confront all of these like terrible situations that these people are in and how they have to make choices and it's so good so far. I don't think it's necessarily saying anything new. Like we've seen post-apocalyptic shows before, but in its tone and its study, it's very much like focused on. It's not trying to be right now. It's not trying to be over an explosive action show. It's not Hunger Games. It's very much like let's just document what's happening to these people.
So very grounded.
Super grounded, yeah.
It kind of sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh.
Like that one with Marky Mark.
I don't know. The Village? I don't know. I haven't watched an M. Night Shyamalan in a long time. They're not my
that's probably
fancy.
the right move.
I was telling you guys, I think in some ways it's a little bit like Station 11 in that there is a little bit of like maybe surreal going on, just a tiny bit. And the fact that it's like pretty grounded, it just follows these people, and it's about the choices that they're making. But it's not like Station 11 in that it's not. In Station 11, it's sort of like way down the line where they've sort of just figured out how to live in this new world and they've created their own cultures and things like that. This is not that. This is them in the immediate aftermath trying to figure out how to survive, and what they need to do and trying to figure out what's going on because they have no idea how all of this happened. So. I highly recommend it. I think it's been good so far. I mean, I guess if they don't stick the landing, I'll let you know. But 3 episodes in, I'm like, this is some good stuff.
3 out of
really well done. 3 out of 6.
I think 6 episodes.
I think it's
3
6.
out of 6.
And they're long episodes, so it doesn't feel short. But yeah, I recommend it. Early impressions.
Yo!
Yeah, it's not as surreal. That one was like more surreal.
That shit was boring.
Was the best show in like a decade.
You might find this one a little bit boring. There's a lot of like slower moments, just him walking, and like the tension is in like him breathing and in like looking for danger.
The
that
tension
kind of
is
thing.
in him breathing.
Yeah, it's like the breathing could be really dangerous. Like
Savon's disgusted.
You don't know what's actually because in the beginning you don't really know like what the rules are, right?
No, I get what you're saying, but it's just like that statement was just very like. I get what you're saying. You're not about to get people to watch the show saying that kind of sentence. Or comparing it to Station 11, which I consider to be visual Z-Quill.
Great show. Totally worth rewatching.
Yeah. And then you might not like this, Savon. I don't know. I think you would.
I'll get a first episode to try. I'll get a first episode to try. But just know that Station 11 comp was not encouraging. I was like, ooh.
I do think
all
some
this
people
fire shit and then just undermined it by saying it's kind of like Station 11. I'm like, oh, best.
Yeah.
Nah, cool. I'll get a first episode.
That means it's a masterpiece.
Albert said he has a hard time getting through it. He finds it a little bit slow. But I'm not finding it slow at all. I'm like this. The pacing is to me, it's really well done. I'm like, this is like so good. Like they're just building all these tension moments, and then you kind of get a something happens, and then they can move on to the next thing. I'm so far I'm thinking it's really good.
What I like about this for you, Wes, is that it's subtitled, so I'm guessing your phone is not
I have to put
in
it
your
down.
hand while you're watching.
I've had to rewind a few times because I tried and I was like, well, this is stupid. Of course I can't figure out what's going on.
That's right. You be talking about shows and you don't even be watching the shit.
All right. You're
this
right.
Guy
to
was
point
watching
Brian, that was
Sinners
insightful.
texting us during the entire movie.
I stopped responding because I was
dude,
like,
watch the movie.
I'm like, I literally know that you're missing things.
You're like Wikipedia Haley Stanfield's genealogy during the movie?
But then you're going to be confused about why this XYZ thing happened. Because you was texting.
I did watch Sinners. Enjoyable. Quite enjoyable. All right, friends. I think that's going to wrap it up. Savon, you don't want to do what we're loving this week?
Y'all, what I've loved is watching you guys be passionate about what you love.
Oh my God, this episode
what I
went
love
so
is
long.
that
your
you
cup
are passionate about something
Your cup
over there.
has filled your cup being filled has filled
Oh my God.
I don't even have a cup. Oh no, wait, I do. It's empty.
Your cup is empty. Well, let's refill it. Next show, homework. Go see Fantastic Four: First Steps. I think we're going to talk about it on our next show.
Will
is
it
it going
live
to be
up
good?
to Superman?
Is Marvel going to be back?
I don't know. I'm starting to feel nervous for them.
I don't know.
I'm excited for it though.
All right. Have you got your tickets yet?
I got my tickets. I'm going with friend of the show, Sean.
All right,
have
Sean.
a good time. We might get the Galactus popcorn bucket.
Do it.
That costs $80.
Oh, don't do it. Change my mind. Save your money. Go buy like a vinyl record. Or
Who
those
would
more?
want a giant Galactus head that holds popcorn?
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
not for $80.
Somebody.
All right, friends.
Later,
See you later.
fellas.
Bye bye.
Peace.
Farmers market.